Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple here again, coming back to you now with another ration review. Did a few vintage rations the last couple of videos, so think we'll move on to something a little more modern this time. And today we have a Australian CR1M, otherwise known as a combat ration one man. These were originally created in the 1980s. They would have had mostly canned components back then. And around 2002, the Australian government, Department of National Defence, whatever you want to call it, they switched over to more modern retort pouch style packaging for their rations, and this is what we have here today. This particular one was made on the 24th day of February 2016, and it's a little hard to pick out, but the expiry date seems to say it was expired on the 7th day of the 9th month of 2017, so it's a little bit past date. It's a menu A, and the bag is in bad shape because when it originally arrived from Australia, the heat seal on the bag itself must have been damaged, I suppose, during manufacturing. It was a very large hole in the bag to begin with, so I just wanted to check at the time to make sure everything was okay, and everything does appear to be all right. So that's the reason why the bag looks like it's in kind of hard shape. I had to check all the components inside, make sure nothing was burst or torn or anything like that. So yeah, these CR1Ms are meant to be a 24-hour ration for an Australian soldier. Basically, it's like 2 main meals and a bunch of other sort of extras and all that kind of stuff. We're going to try to break this down, I guess, into 3 meals, breakfast, dinner, supper. And yeah, should be pretty good. I've seen lots of reviews of these. They always seem to be very high quality, and I'm looking forward to it. So this is, of course, once again, the CR1M. The Australian Defence Force also uses something called a PR1M, which is called the Patrol Ration One Man, which is sort of more a lightweight version of this. And then they have the CR5M, which is the Combat Ration 5 Man, which is basically enough food in a very large box for 5 men to sort of sustain them for 24 hours. But this is the standard, Australian ration. So first of all, let's just run through everything that we have, and when we get that all done, I'm going to figure out what's going to be on tap for breakfast. So first off, we have bread. So that's a pretty generic kind of thing. It has somewhat the same shape, I believe, as the older style Canadian IMP bread. So that's a good thing. I much prefer Canadian IMP bread to US wheat snack bread, things like that, because it tastes a little bit more like real bread. So that should be interesting. I've got a packet of noodles, mi goreng. I don't know if these are supposed to be sort of like ramen noodles, that kind of thing. But it comes with palm oil, fried onions, and fried garlic as well to add to it. So should be interesting. We have a packet of freeze-dried rice. A packet of tuna, oven-dried tomato, and herb dressing. Should be pretty good. Got a large tube of sweetened condensed milk. Something we don't see very often, either in American or Canadian rations. But you see it a lot in European rations and Asian rations. And then we have natural muesli, fruit and seeds. This will probably end up being a breakfast item we'll have. Packet of Lifesavers, peppermint, made by the Nestle company. There we go. Got ourselves a can of Bega processed cheddar cheese. This is the only thing in the entire ration which is still canned, and because of that, it's going to need to come with a can opener, and we'll find that now in a second. Got ourselves a chocolate drink, 40 grams. We have our chocolate ration, 50 grams. Now, this is in one solid piece, which is a good start, but for anyone who's ever watched reviews of these CR1Ms. 99% of the time, this is just going to be horribly bloomed. Like, the entire thing is going to be just white. So hopefully we don't have that be the case, but I guess we'll find out. Then we've got ourselves a packet of creamy chicken soup. A sports drink powder, tropical flavor. Meant to go with 500 mils of water. So, or anywhere from 500 mils to 1,000 mils. So, I guess depending on how strong it is you want it. We've got ourselves a little scouring pad, which seems to have its own sort of, I guess, dish detergent already in it. I guess for your mess kit. Got an accessory pack, and this is where we have our Fred, as they call it. Can opener with a little spoon, also a bottle opener. You know, field ration eating device being the proper term for it. Or other terms that I'm not going to use because YouTube won't let me say those words on camera. So we'll just go with the original way that people say it, just, you know, the Fred. And what else we have in here? We've got ourselves just a rubber band. 2 rubber bands, actually. We've got 4 packs of sugar, 7 grams each. We've got a pack of sugar-free gum, lemon lime flavor. Pack of instant coffee. A little piece of paper that I don't know the reason for it. What else? Another pack of instant coffee. Tea. Tea again. 2 grams of black pepper. That's a lot of black pepper. Actually, I thought that the 1 gram package in a Russian IRP was a lot of pepper, so that's going to be great. I enjoy black pepper. A packet of tomato ketchup. It's not bloated in any way, so that's a good sign. A little pack of Tabasco. 2 grams of salt. And another 4-piece pack of lemon lime flavor. Sugar-free gum. And 1 more rubber band. So 3 rubber bands for some reason. What else we have? Got a packet of what I assume are matches. That would be correct. A mix of just regular matches and also windproof matches. And the strikers on the side. Good container. It's going to keep it nice and waterproof. It's a nice touch. And this appears to be one of the mains. So we've got ourselves a Moroccan lamb. You can see on the back here, packaged on 10/15. So it's getting to be almost 2 years old, but it still should be pretty good. Sounds like a really good main meal. And we also have hearty beef stew, packaged 2/15. Yeah, nice 250 gram portions. Should be good. Got a packet of non-dairy creamer, 15 grams of it. That's a lot of non-dairy creamer. But I guess there's 2 coffees and 2 teas, so I guess they assume that you're just going to spread this out over all 4 of those. Got a nice packet of regular M&Ms. Should be pretty good. Best before 11, 10, 16. So yeah, these are getting a bit old, but hopefully they're still good. Got ourselves a cereal bar, blueberry and apple. Feels a little dense, but I guess we'll see when we try it out, depending on when it is we choose to have it. Got ourselves just a little packet of napkins. Got a Jack Link's peppered steak bar. So sort of like a kippered beef snack, that kind of thing. We've got the famous CR1M spoon, sort of like a small shovel. This is my first CR1M, so it's gonna be nice to finally get to try all of this out. What else do we have? Got a dessert item, a fruit cake, 80 grams. Still feels nice and soft inside, so that's a good sign. And well, we've just got ourselves like a big, huge content list. Australian Defence Force information, all that kind of thing, and gives you just basically a rundown then of every menu that we have. So we have menu A here. It says, you know, Moroccan lamb, beef stew, chicken soup, all that kind of stuff. So they have 8 different menus in the Australian Defence Force CR1Ms, A through H. So hopefully I'll get a chance to try out some more of these in the future. Then we have ourselves just a Ziploc bag, either for refuse or if you just want to put your extra items in, whichever way you choose. And a couple things left. Got a little packet of yeast extract. This would be, of course, Vegemite. I've never had Vegemite before. I've had Marmite, which is similar to that. Wasn't a huge fan of Marmite, so it's going to be interesting to see what the difference is between this and Marmite. And lastly, got ourselves a little tube of plum jam. So this all seems pretty good. The interesting thing now, of course, is going to be I suppose trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to have for breakfast. So I'm going to lay out everything onto the tray now in a second, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. Alright guys, so we've got ourselves our breakfast laid out here. Got ourselves a natural muesli, and we're going to mix in the non-dairy creamery with it to sort of make it a little bit more milky, I guess is the way to put it. Going to have tea as our main drink, and then for the protein sort of part, I guess, to sort of get your day started. Going to try out the tuna and the peppered steak bar, and then we've got a cereal bar, blueberry apple, and the plum jam. Maybe to try it in with the muesli just in case it might need a little bit more sweetness, something like that. So one odd thing I noticed, that there's no sort of like biscuits, crackers, anything like that to to go along with either the jam or the yeast extract or anything like that. I thought that was kind of strange. You only get one piece of bread, so you can't use it all with the bread. But anyway, it is what it is. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that a big, huge thank you, I suppose, to Spot87 from MREinfo.com for hooking me up with this CR1M. It's a little, been a little while since we made a trade, but I traded them some IMPs for this. So just want to thank Spot87 once again. He's a great guy, and it was a good deal. So yeah, let's get everything started. I think first of all, probably just get the tea steeping, I suppose. So we'll just open up our tea. And we've got ourselves a Bell tea bag. And then we'll eventually just go get some hot water from the Keurig, and then we'll get this going. So we're just going to let that tea steep a little bit, and then we'll get back to it. Yeah, next let's just open up our muesli and pour it out. See how it's looking. From the ingredients list here, we've got focus. We've got dried papaya. We've got dried apricots, raisins, pineapple, dried cranberries, apples, pumpkin seeds, all that kind of thing. So it sounds very nice and hearty. Get a little look at that there. Let's just pour it out. Looks like a really nice portion. And Gonna add the non-dairy creamer to it as well to just sort of make it a little bit more milky. I usually like cold water with this, so we'll see how that goes. The hole at top didn't want to open up very well, but I don't use creamer in my tea or anything like that, and I don't drink coffee, so not going to really need to use this anymore. And let's pour a little bit of water in there. Give it a bit of a mix. And make a mess as well, of course. You can already tell this is starting to constitute fairly well, so that's nice. I don't like my sort of oatmeal muesli too watery, so it's going to be good that this is going to sort of dry in some of that. So yeah, it looks good. Let's just clean this up a little bit. All right, let's take a little, I guess, move around the rest of the table. Let's open up our steak bar. This is Jack Link's peppered steak bar. So yeah, these look very similar to things you pick up in a gas station, that sort of thing. Just a kippered beef snack. Got a bit of a wet sheen to it. It's a little bit oily. That's not too bad. Let's open up our cereal bar, blueberry apple. Looks pretty nice. It's got the look of something like what we would call a Nutri-Grain bar here. But it's a little hard. See if we can crack it in half. Yeah, it breaks a little bit, but it's not nearly as soft as I would like it to be, but perhaps that's not a big deal. Maybe it won't take away from the taste at all. And lastly, let's just take the top off of our plum jam. We may want to add that to our muesli if we find it's not quite sweet enough or it needs a little bit of extra. And lastly, let's just open up our oven-dried tomato and herb dressing tuna. Once again, no biscuits, so this probably would have been nice to go with crackers or something like that. We only were given one piece of bread, so there was a whole lot of spreads and toppings that maybe would have went well with the bread, but you only give them one piece, so it's not like it can spread around too much. You can't regrow it. So we're just going to have to try this tuna out on its own. It's 85 grams, so it's a nice portion. It's a very sizable portion compared to what you would find from, say, an MREinfo tuna product you'd normally get in a bevy of European rations. So 85 grams of tuna. It's a nice amount. You're not going to get a whole lot of protein out of the muesli, so I thought it's best to sort of add some protein from the other components. So I guess there's not a whole lot left to do now except just to try everything out. So let's just give the muesli a little bit of a try. You can tell that already even more of the liquid is absorbed. And what liquid does remain is fairly milky. So this is just chock full of pieces of dried fruit and pumpkin seeds and all that kind of stuff. So this looks fantastic, I must say. So let's just give it a try, see if it's going to need any extra sweetness or anything like that. Oh wow, that is the best muesli I've ever had in a ration, ever. I thought the chocolate muesli from the Danish ration was the best I'd had before. This is just a whole other level. It's not sweet in any way, shape, or form, but it's weird. You don't feel like you need the sweetness. It's all kinds of dried fruit, so I mean, of course, the dried fruit would have its own either natural sweetness or sugar added to it, of course, during the process of drying it. But you know, it's nice. It's a great sort of texture combination. You know, you're getting the nice soft sort of oats, but then you're also getting these sort of hard pieces of, you know, things like dried pineapple and papaya and the cranberries, which are all very sort of, you know, nice and dense. And then the apples maybe a little bit softer. Then you get sort of a little bit of the crunch from the pumpkin seeds. So yeah, this is an amazing, nice sort of natural, good tasting muesli. Just for the sake of trying it, of course. Let's just give the plum jam a try. Let's just try it on its own. Doesn't want to come out very easily. See, it's got a nice sort of amber kind of color to it. Oh wow, that's really nice plum jam. Let's just put it on one little section here. There's no need to douse the whole thing in plum jam. Pop the cap back on. Save all this for later, for maybe putting on the bread, or save it for myself for some cream crackers or something later on as a snack. But yeah, let's just try out this plum jam on our natural muesli. Fruit and seeds. That's lovely as well. It's odd though. I would venture to say that I think the muesli is just fine on its own. It doesn't need the plum jam. Doesn't need any extra sugar. The non-dairy creamer that's in here is just enough to sort of add that sort of milky kind of flavor that you'd like to have with your muesli or oatmeal or whatever you want to call it. But this is fantastic. It's breakfast time here right now anyway, so this is a great breakfast item. I'm very, very happy to have gotten this. It's going to be kind of disappointing, I think, when it's all over, because I'm going to wish there was a larger portion of this. So yeah, what else do we have? Of course, we've got our tea sitting here, and we've got our kippered beef snack and our cereal bar and our tuna. Let's try this beef snack now for a second. See, it's got a really oily kind of sheen to it. It's a little malleable, but it's maybe a little harder, a little more dense than maybe some of the ones that you would see. I don't know if it's maybe showing its age a little bit, but let's give it a taste and see how it truly is. It's a little bit dry, not of course on the same level as dry that you would find in beef jerky, but it's a little drier than a normal kippered beef snack you would find, say, in an MRE, or if you were just picking up one of these things from a gas station. But that's quite okay. I don't think it needs to be, you know, any more moist than it is right now. It's got a great black pepper flavor. If you're someone who likes just, you know, straight up black pepper on things, this sort of hits you with that kick right away. It's nice and smoky. You know, if you're someone who likes beef jerky, that sort of thing, and black pepper, this is absolutely perfect. So yeah, that's great. Let's move on to the cereal bar now, just to sort of give this a try. Get a nice kind of cross-section look there. Remember, this is blueberry apple flavor. Doesn't have much of a blueberry apple smell to it. Really, all I'm smelling is the, you know, the outside, you know, the grains, I guess is the best way to put it. But let's just give this a try. And looks can be deceiving. That outside layer, that grain outside layer, the cake part, it sounded hard. It was hard, but yet at the same time, it was not hard as in dry and sort of, you know, sawdust kind of thing. It had a crunch to it. Once you got through that outside layer of the cake there, it was nice and moist inside. So it was a great sort of texture combination. You get that nice crunch at the beginning with that first mouthful, and then you chew it up a little bit. And then both the flavors of the apple and the blueberry come through, neither one of them overpowering the other. And it's nice and sweet, but not too sweet. But then you also get that sort of heartiness from the grain as well. So yeah, it's just a perfect combination. I couldn't have asked for anything better. So yeah, this is really shaping out to be a great ration thus far. I guess lastly, for the food items, we've got ourselves our tuna here, which was oven-dried tomato and herb dressing, and that's easy to see. Just doesn't look like your standard kind of tuna. You can certainly see all the flecks of herbs and the pieces of roasted red pepper and all that kind of stuff. It's a nice, pretty good sized portion from it. Yeah, let's try this out. That, without a doubt, is the best tuna I've ever had in a ration so far. So, we've got 2 new contenders for number 1 of certain items. So this is fantastic. It's no one flavor overpowers the other. It's a nice sort of well-balanced kind of flavor. You've obviously got the oven-dried tomato, the herbs really work really well. They're nice and subtle. You get that little bit of, of course it's in a dressing, so you're going to get that oil flavor and a little bit of a vinegar flavor at the end. So it's got a little bit of a tang to it, but nothing that's overpowering. It doesn't, it's not off-putting in any way. It's a very Moorish kind of tuna, which is weird. I wouldn't call tuna something that would be considered Moorish, but this is something that you're gonna want to go back to. And once again, I'll add that it's kind of disappointing that there's no biscuit to go along with this, because I think this would be fantastic on either a cream cracker or a nice sort of whole wheat kind of cracker like that. So yeah, but on its own, it's just simply delicious. And the last thing to do, guys, I guess, is cleanse the palate with this tea and give it a try. I don't put any sugar or cream, anything like that in my tea. Just like it just straight up like this. So once again, this is Bell tea. It's a brand I've never heard of before. So let's just give this a little taste. And that's a really nice sort of orange pekoe, mild English breakfast kind of black tea. It's not bitter. The tannins don't hit you over the head or anything like that. I'm sure people that enjoy cream and sugar in their tea would probably like this one, but it's perfectly fine on its own, just as a regular sort of black tea. It's not, as you can see, it's not overly dark. I don't know if it hasn't steeped long enough or anything like that, but yeah, this is a nice sort of mild breakfast kind of tea. So guys, didn't really do a whole lot of items, but everything has been absolutely fantastic. I'm very impressed so far with this menu A, Australian CR1M. I'm gonna sit down now and finish off the rest of this for my breakfast. So this has been a great part 1. I'm really excited now to dive into the rest of the items in the bag for dinner and supper, and see how everything else is, if it all stacks up to how well it's been so far. So just want to thank you guys for stopping by and giving this a watch. You like the video, give it a like, subscribe, all those kind of things. And once again, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.